What's up, everybody? Welcome back. So this is my new SG. It's a 2014 120th anniversary special, and the whole neck is flamed, and there's almost no way it's going to show up on camera, which is too bad. I've got some plans for this, which I'm going to go over in a second, but I'm just kind of making it mine at this point. It had some fret sprout and some rough fret end, so I took care of that already. I tried to make a video, but I was using my GoPro and it crapped out on me, and I don't have enough footage to make it coherent. So I'm using my iPhone now, and hopefully this turns out a little better. The fretboard was super dry too, so I polished the frets, and as I said, did the fret ends and moisturized the fretboard. I used some Howard's Butcher Block cleaner. This stuff is great for moisturizing fretboards, and it's all natural and it's totally safe. So if you get on your fingers and start eating some fried chicken or something, you'll be fine. I also used micro mesh and polished up the headstock, front, back, and sides, just because I like the way that looks, and I wasn't trying to make it super shiny and look brand new. I wanted it to look kind of aged because the body's a little worn out, and this type of finish wears out really fast, and it looks really cool when it's aged. I also micro meshed the back of the neck, and it's insanely smooth now. It's like crazy smooth. I spent like 3 hours the other night getting this thing dialed in. So I took off the cover of the bridge pickup. I want to use this guitar for black metal, so a lot of tremolo picking and alternating chords and stuff. And it's got the 490 set in it, and those are some of my favorite pickups. I love them, but they have a really loose low end with the Alnico 2 magnets. So I bought some magnets, they're on the way, and I'm going to experiment with the magnets and see if I can tighten up the low end on these a little bit, specifically on the bridge. The neck I don't really care because it sounds awesome the way it is, and I don't really use that for black metal anyway. But today, also, I got this all cleaned and waxed up real nice, and I rounded over the nut because it was really sharp right here, and I can't stand that. And I'll show you guys how I did that in a second. And I also taped off the bridge and filed the corners on the saddles. These stock Gibson saddles are super sharp, so I file them at every angle and round them over so that when I'm palm muting, it doesn't dig into my hand, because that drives me insane. And I just taped off the whole surface and basically everything except for the saddles, and used a little 3-corner file and just lightly, rounded everything over and got it super comfy. That's a really, really important thing that I do on all my Gibson instruments now. So today, what I want to do in this video is replace all the plastic stuff. The truss rod cover, it's a nice font, but I like the white on black, and there's just too much going on here. We've got the font, we've got the frog, we've got the Gibson logo, and then down here, this color, initially when I saw it, I was like, huh, that's different, that's kind of cool, but the more I look at it, the more I hate it, and the same with the poker chip. So I bought replacements for them. These knobs are sharp on the corners. I don't like that, and I don't really like the way they look, and I love the reflector top hat knobs. So I'm gonna put a set of those on. I got new genuine, because I'm staying genuine or whatever. They fit, basically. Gibson parts. They fit perfectly. I tried these Pro Line ones. They don't fit right. So I'm gonna save these for another project. And we've got the real Gibson stuff. We got a real Gibson poker chip here. We're gonna replace all that stuff. Also, it's got chrome hardware, and I don't really like chrome, but I'm gonna hang with it on this guitar because these parts are insanely heavy. The new ones are all the aluminum, super lightweight stuff, and I think this is why this guitar has no neck dive at all. It's super resonant, it balances on a strap perfectly, it balances when you sit with it perfectly, and I don't want to ruin that. This isn't gonna really affect the resonance much, but maybe a little bit. I think every little piece matters a little bit, at least until you plug it in. But I think I'm gonna keep these. Plus, it makes it different. I'm replacing parts to make it look like my Les Paul, which it's cool to have 2 totally different guitars. So let's. Oh, I'll show you how I did the nut. So the nut, again, I used my little 3-corner file. And I taped off the fretboard, I taped off the headstock, I taped off the side of the nut just so I wouldn't ding anything. I ground some safe edges into this, but still. And then I just filed every corner and every hard edge so that it would be soft. And when I slide up, you know, to the first fret, if I go too far, it's not going to cut into my hand and be super uncomfortable. So let's get a time lapse going of replacing all these parts, and then I'll probably do a setup video in another video because I don't want this one to get too long. The other thing I want to replace is this cover. I don't like the rough looking plastic stuff. I want to get one of the smooth ones and let it get scratched up on its own. Otherwise, it's got push-pull pots for the splitting the humbuckers. I don't think I need to replace that. I think they're okay. They work just fine. But if I decide to switch pickups, I'm going to replace all the electronics. We'll get there when the time comes. An upcoming project I want to do on this eventually is strip the neck. Like I said, it's full flame all the way down, especially down here, but it goes the whole way. It just doesn't come out on camera at all. You got to be in the right light to see it. And I think if I strip all this finish off and stain it really well, I could do like a black stain and then sand and then black stain, sand, black stain, sand, and then do a red to match the body. That would look sick, because it's kind of weird how the body and the neck are different like shades of red, you know what I mean? So I think matching them would be insane. But this is my first SG and I absolutely love it. I don't know why I waited so long. So let's get all this plastic stuff off and get it replaced and see how it looks. The other thing I did on this was replace the truss rod nut, which when I was inspecting it, found out that it had never been used, not even at the factory. There was still black lacquer over it, completely sealing it shut from the factory, and I could see it when I opened the truss rod cover, and then when I turned it, I watched all that paint chip away. It was pretty amazing. Stu Max sells a tool to help you install pickups and pickup rings like this. And I think when I'm done with this, I'm going to go buy it, because this is such a pain without it, especially on the guitar. And those springs can go flying, man. And they can really do some damage, you know what I mean? So I think I'm going to invest in those, because this is kind of sketchy. But it must be done. This is my black metal guitar now. And I think the Les Paul, I'm going to keep that as a Doom guitar, because that thing sustains like freaking crazy, and it's just got that sound, man. So I think that one I'll probably put an unoriented Alnico 5 in the bridge, and this one I'll probably put a Alnico 8. But we'll see. I'm gonna experiment with them, and I'll make videos on it for sure, so that you guys can hear the difference as well. I'll do like I'll record each different magnet type. I might end up putting like a A4 in the neck of this one if the A8 is like super hot compared to the A2 that's in the neck right now. Okay. Now we need these guys. And what I figured out with this is, and if you guys have any tricks for this, let me know. I put the screw through the pickup ring, and make sure these are going the right way when you do this too. I've put them on the wrong way plenty of times, and once I got the guitar strung up, realized what I had done. So I put them through, and I compress the spring with my finger, and while it's jabbing me, see, and then you let go of it, and it flies out, and this ruins your fingernail too. I don't want this thing to fly out and mess up the guitar or hit me in the eye, you know what I mean? And then you lift your thumb over it just enough to get the screwdriver on, and then you're in. So it's not the end of the world, but like, I don't know. If I had to do this all the time, it would definitely be worth getting the tool. And I've never messed with magnets before, so I don't know if I have to remove the ring to get the magnet out, you know what I mean? You just gotta kind of adjust this guy until you got it. You know what else I'll do? I'll show you guys how I top wrap. Or maybe I'll make that another video. Maybe I'll make that a video of its own so people can search it. Yeah, I think I'll do that actually. There we go. Got it in. It's in the hole. Cool. Now I just got these guys. Yeah, that looks so much better. Actually, I'm kind of digging the chrome on the red now. Okay, I'm going to get all these screws in, and then I'm going to temporarily put this cover on. This was a huge pain to get off, by the way. There's so much wax in there. Yeah, I'll get this stuff together, and then I'll show you guys what it looks like. All right, man. So I forgot to tell you guys, one of the coolest things about this guitar is it's 24 frets. It's hard to find an SG that's 24 frets, and I don't know why. They should get away from, you know, at least on the modern models or whatever, get away from the traditional 22 thing with the weird little 10 cover. It just, there's space there. Why would you not, you know? Plus, it's another glued thing, which helps strengthen the neck joint that these are famously weak for. So, truss rod cover looks really cool. Can't wait for this thing to get scratched up. I don't want to purposely relic this one, but if it gets scratched up, that's part of its charm. The factory nut was cut really well, and I sincerely doubt that anybody messed with that, judging by the truss rod having never been turned and I'm sure the fretboard having never been moisturized at all. So I'm kind of digging the chrome, man. You know, normally I can't stand chrome. I like the warmer color of nickel, but this is pretty rad. And another thing I like about this setup with not having a pickguard at all, which I think I'm going to add a 61 style that just goes down here just because it'll make it look more complete, I guess. When you have the pickup rings, they're angled, so it tilts the pickup up in the direction of the string, so the string lays pretty much flat over the pickup, where on the Batwing pickguard, the pickguards that come up here and do all this, the pickup's directly in the flat pickguard, so that they're at this angle and the strings are at this angle. I'm obviously being extreme here, so they don't lay flat over the pickup. They only lay over one part, and then it seems like a design flaw, and it looks really awkward and really weird, and I'm sure it adds to the sound somehow, but I don't know. It's probably part of the thinner sound of them, but I don't like it. I like this one. I really like this guitar. So I'm going to make another video right now of how to top wrap a Gibson, and then I'm going to make another one of how to set one up. So yeah, see you guys soon.